this before. Ujaye, greetings. Welcome. We were having a lovely dialogue, a cultural one about how our families work within our cultural settings. And then we realized we should be capturing this. So we thought, okay, let's give it a try. All right. So this is Meritah Wisdom. We are having a storytelling engagement, a pop-up, okay, for family, children, friends, adult, kids. And we located at our temple. This is the Kepta Temple, Umtab. And this we have our master, the prophet, Nebnabala Musa Morun Zenebig. Okay, so he is the prophet of our traditions. He was sent out in our time to come help reunite humanity, bring us back into our roots. The same way that all the prophets were out, all the prophets were sent out, is the same way our tradition sent out. Go to our website, theartcenter.org, and you'll know more about who we are and about our master, the Maheru. This is our teacher, okay? The son of our master, Meritah Wisdom. All right. So what we do here, we learn to worship and carry on our spiritual ways in accordance with our tradition. It's about the purity of our hearts. It's about cleanliness. It's about righteousness. It's about truth. All right, so we get back to it. We had actually, we were having a very amazing discussion, and it was already long. I don't know if I can go back to it, but I think this is helping to this virgin us to be able to come on the camera and have these talks. But we were talking about how our families function within our cultural context, and how focusing on the way we function within our cultural context takes away the confusion, takes away the need to want to adapt, to want to be. But we are able to adapt better just by being in our roots and also navigating this context, who we are, identity, what it is to be a man, what it is to be a woman, what it is to just be, okay? It simplifies everything. Now, we were at the last point when we were saying that within our cultural context, there is a reason why we marry early, and we love it. We do love it. And it's the grandchildren the grandparents that actually raise the children, so that the young ones just having children are able to just go out there and create the means and experience themselves and learn about life. And the children are being raised by the grandparents. All right, so before we go into the reading today, or into the stories of our books today, any questions? Okay, before the camera, we were all lively, please.
Okay. You kind of explain everything we've been through. Yes, it makes sense.
It does?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question would be,
Can you speak? Okay.
What inspired you to start writing these children's books? What inspired you to do this?
Oh, thank you. So, Meritah Wisdom Education Center was inspired by my father. Encouraged me to have that name, Meritah. What inspired the creation of the content was because I realized that there was so much talk about black, but it was beyond being black, beyond the talk of slavery and we are kings and queens. There was nothing more to it that gave context. So it was like empty and void. It was like what makes you black has to do with a combination of being angry with what is happening in terms of, in quote, to blacks, and living in a way that it didn't have context. So I started realizing that we are creating for ourselves another form of slavery in that way, because we don't even know who we are, and black in itself, other than how will you explain what is, It's like saying red, it's like saying blue, it's just like a color of a crayon. And it becomes what is because of the political meaning and experience attached to it. So I felt that one of the things that will help is beyond that black that they call in quote, I really don't know that there's such a thing as that. That will be an identity for any human being, just like there is no yellow and just like there's no, these are all made up words. But why Meritah Wisdom Education Center became was I felt a tool through which to help us know who we are as a cultural people and not as opposed to a color of a crayon. So that was why we came, and when you know yourself in terms of your cultural context, it really replaces the emptiness or the narrative that we've been exposed to, for which we use those sweet selling language, black and beautiful kings and queens. Outside really means nothing more than the slogans that it really is. So this book, thank you so much for your question. Did I answer it?
It's interesting that you mentioned the part about kings and queens, because oftentimes I see people, they want to refer to themselves as kings and queens and stuff like that, but they might be coming from a bloodline specifically for farming or for blacksmiths, and I think it's something to cope with the difficulties in life. Not everyone is supposed to be a king or a queen. Some people are supposed to be, just as I was saying, farmers. Other people are supposed to be fishermen.
Right.
Other people are supposed to have different roles to play in society, right? And so I think the king and queen thing is just to, cope.
Yeah, to cope, exactly. So that's the word. So it was like a coping mechanism for what we're going through. But if I know who I am, I don't even have to be loud. I just have to be okay in me. But the most important thing too is when you know who you are within your cultural context, then you're then able to navigate through your modern context. You're able to, with the strategy inherent from your people, from your cultural ways, you're able to then maneuver, how can I be successful as a university student? How can I be successful as a professional in Toronto? How can I be successful as a professional in England as an Edo woman? What is it in my Edo way of being, in my indigenous way of life, that teaches me to be successful irrespective of where I go to? How is it that they're doing this here? And I can say, oh, that's fine. Oh, but where we come from, we don't do that. Okay? And as I was saying, right, our ancestors or elders, they tell us that no matter a log of wood, no matter how long it stays in the river, it does not become a crocodile. The tortoise never moves from one point to another without its shell. So this notion that, because when in Rome, do like the Rome do, I do understand that context, but you also have to use it intelligently. Because you can do as the Rome do, and the Rome will be in trouble, but you will be in trouble. So it's how to use it intelligently. The more intelligent way of understanding that is, how do I successfully adapt to my new environment in a way that will enhance and progress me? For example, within a spiritual context or a cultural context, there are things that I just can't eat because my family, my bloodline can't eat it. I cannot say, oh, now I'm in Toronto. Come on, I just eat anything that I see. All right, no problem. Being in Toronto, you don't eat. But when that same concept is placed in a more Western way, people receive it more. But when it's placed in a way that have existed before the Western way ever existed, people are like, oh, that's true. And I'll give you an example. Someone allergic to peanuts in Toronto. When you go to Japan, and because now you're in Japan and you see granite, you see peanut, you now say you'll eat it. Okay. So eat it and then see what happens. So that's why I say use it intelligently. You are what you are, irrespective of where you go to or what you're doing. So let's remember that, yes.
That's right. And that's actually how we had started off the conversation.
Right.
We were asking us, where do you say you're from?
Yeah.
Right? So it comes like in the modern setting, identity is as simple. They've made it as simple and almost meaningless as changing a hat every day.
Right.
You know, you have a hat and it says, you know, a certain slogan, then you put on the next hat depending on how you feel or what you want to attract.
That's your
day.
identity
You
for
put
the
on
day.
a certain hat. And so this society will have you think that you could change your identity like that at a whim and fancy of a change of clothes. So it's something that even though it is tested and true over time in terms of what the indigenous ways bring us back to, because we have been conditioned in this setting, it seems so foreign to us.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we do stumble at that question, right? Saying, depending on the situation, I will be this.
Right.
So we're always now moving and shifting, and why do we expect any less than for us to feel less confident if you are constantly trying to change yourself for a situation rather than going in there knowing who you are?
Who you are,
Right?
exactly.
So that's why I love Meritah Wisdom. Meritah Wisdom is like is a foundation. It is when I say foundation, it's a foundation
It's
of
foundational.
foundational
I think
for
that's what you mean.
education for our young ones.
Yes,
Because
yes, it is.
the instability begins so early here in the education system.
Right.
And oftentimes people are saying they want an alternative for their children to have an understanding of who they are.
Yes,
But if it's not being provided by the schools that they're going to, they have to have another means of delivering that information to their children.
Exactly.
So these resources, these books, really give them a connection to a world that otherwise they would be disconnected from in this modern setting here. And that's why I love them so much, even down to the, I can't wait for the storytelling phase, but yes. I will leave it for the story to tell itself, but yes.
Thank you. No, thank you. And you said it perfectly. We can't still waiting for the government to do it. We have to do it ourselves. We are the ones who raise our children. We had an experience just now. We ask a 40-year-old man today, where are you from? And the answer, and this is who we used to be, right? The answer is, well, depends on how did you answer that the first time?
I said.
Oh, this is not the 40-year-old, by the way.
No, this is not the 40-year-old.
I think I said something about how.
Depends on how you ask it.
Yeah, it depends on the context and where I find that, like, when it comes to identity, the person's that is in front of you, whatever proximity you have with her is usually the answer you're gonna pick, as opposed to a general truth.
Thank you. As opposed to a general truth, you said it.
Yeah.
To a truth that aligns with nature. So that's why I can go out to the where you am. Depends on who is asking. I say, oh, I'm from Toronto. Where I am from Nigeria, where are you? I'm from. Where are you? Oh, where are you from? I'm from Nigeria. Where are you? I'm from Japan. The same person giving different answer to the where you from question. And so you have even a 70-year-old may not be able, or a 40-year-old may not be able to answer the questions today. Where are you from? In fact, I've had situations where people come. These are already past their 60s. They can't even tell what it means to be a woman. Because beyond being female, it's the concept is just not there making meaning. So it's like a person who has lived to their 60s and 70s can't even answer the question of what is my purpose in life. So it is very important that we seek for ourselves. We have to understand that we're in a political era. Politics and truth, they don't mix together. Politics and nature, you don't mix together. So stop spending your energy trying to get something where it does not exist. We have to really seek that which is true for ourselves. And how do we know it's true? These are things we can talk about later. So, let us now get down to the story today in this book. Now, the title of this book is How I Live in Meritah. Now, I know you people will say, what's Meritah? Someone have asked me that question. You said Meritah, what's the meaning of Meritah? All right, so here we go, okay? Now, this is the story of two wonderful young boys playing, and they say, Meritah is the indigenous name of our ancestral land. Before I continue the story, do you know the reason this book was made? I was in my department one day when I met this amazing mature woman, and she's from the eastern part of Canada. So she's from the people where you can link their ancestry to the Underground Railroad, the area Tubman and all. Yeah. So we were talking. It was just a conversation and something. Even when I told her about, I think I had just produced the first book. Then she said, I want to know how we lived in Meritah, in Africa, before we were taken away. I want to know how we did the basic things before we were taken away. I want to know what it meant to be this and that. So when she said that, that was how the idea of this book became, okay? And I tried to reach her to see if I can, if I have permission to include her name as the person who inspired this book, but I didn't get to. So, but I make sure I give that credit in the story, all right? So this is a book that talks about the basic things that we do in Meritah, and why, when you know that, like when you even know the theory, the philosophy behind why we walk barefooted, you'll be surprised. And then you have pride in walking barefooted. So some of the things is that we don't even know who we are and why our people do the things we do. And that is why we have shame. That's why everything comes down to knowing who you are. When you know who you are, no matter where you go, you will just politely say, oh, that's beautiful, but where I come from, we don't do that. But enjoy yourself, right? And you focus on your life, going your way. So this story starts, I may not be able to read everything, but just a few pages, all right? We'll tell you so that you can buy the books, all right? Okay, all right. Now we go. Meritah is the indigenous name of our ancestral land, the continent many know today as Africa. And here we are learning about and from our mother, the beloved earth. We learn from her all the knowledge of life and earth, science that we need to live to honor our ancestors, to harmonize and to survive on the land. On this land today, we are drawing the patterns of the day, following the pyramid culture of the highest civilization of our ancestors. It gets sweeter. The meaning of Meritah is our beloved land. It also means our beloved earth. Wow! This beloved earth is where my family is grounded. The teachings of our beloved land is that the work of the farm is the work of our land, for which we must take our most pride. So, my many family members are now out to the farms on this beloved land. Even in play, do we children feel safe, protected, and watched over? Baba, Mama, and the villagers teach us that we must continue to harmonize, to fit in and be one with nature on our beloved earth. Oh, this is amazing. To be one with nature, nature must be respected and preserved because nature is sacred. Mama, Baba, and our village say that it is through us, their children, that nature and their lives are preserved. for many generations unending. So they give us our ancestral culture, our ancestral cultural education to help us preserve life and harmonize with nature. So listen, your child can go to school all the one, but just know that school education is school education and cultural education is cultural education. All right, we've taken a big leap now, and we are on page 14. You see, this is my Meritah compound. We children always love our big harmonious Meritah compound. We have many round houses. Our animals enjoy their freedom to roam. The elders are cared for. Mothers carry their children on their backs. Fathers teach boys to be men, and mothers teach girls to be women. We learn by copying their behavior, the integrity, and the principles of how they speak and work in order to understand the world around us. When the boys and girls become of age, they then begin their initiation. But in all, the entire people in the compound work together like a balanced community. Oh goodness, see how they eat. Oh goodness, they talk about how they eat with their hands. That makes me sound sorry. But listen, okay, just like nature, we live very humbly. Oh, how I love it. We are reaching our wisdom deep in our science simply because we appreciate the beloved earth. And we,
You should put it like this.
oh, like
No,
that?
I mean the camera should be like this.
Okay.
So that she could be able to read, but you can still show the drawing.
Okay. We eat together with our right hands. Okay. And we do not take more than we need, all right? We eat together with our right hands every day on the floor and share every meal in those bowls. And look, my food is most enjoyable this way. Eating together helps our hearts interconnect with each other, just like the roots of the tree that interconnect into nature's rich soil to nourish and help us grow. I just had a deja vu moment. See, it says.
Just eating.
We're just eating same way, okay. Just like nature, we live very humbly. Oh, how I love it. We are reaching our wisdom deep in our science simply because we appreciate the beloved earth. We do not take more than we need. Oh, think about that a moment. We kill ourselves today trying to build and amass this wealth. And nature is there, never leaving us alone. So the earth is there to keep feeding us and our children. So why do we kill ourselves to amass all of this, way more than we need? The earth is there to keep giving us. Well, a food for thought. Okay, I skipped again, please. The book is there for you to get, all right? See this image. Hear what it says. Our temples. We're in one of our temples now. All right? The location of the temple is 2409 Eglinton Avenue West, all right?
Toronto.
In Toronto, right here. The temple from our tradition, from our culture, all the way in Meritah is right here. So if you're looking for how were we before we became who we are now, just come. We had our way of worship, we still have it, it still exists, just come. The tradition we practice here goes all the way to the pharaonic times, preserved by the Dogon bloodline. So just come, okay? Our temples, ancestors, priests, elders, families, and villages are the foundation of our culture, spirituality, and traditions. It is with this foundation that our tradition of preserving life and harmonizing with nature is strong.
I'm gonna do a summary.
What?
Oh, a summary.
Okay, all right. And I will just use this to emphasize what we're saying earlier. The family is the foundation of our culture, of our tradition. So even at the age of 6, you're already learning what it means to be a wife, what it means to be a husband, and you're seeing it play out in the family. And that is why we we leave today without those much of those problems in our homes, as you see in the West. Please, do I have your permission to read? This is nice, but this is nice, but it's long. We have to go. So I need her permission to do like 2 more. This and 1 more. Do I have it?
2 more?
Yeah, 2 more. Oh, do some of us remember being bathed in a bowl like this?
Going back.
Yeah.
Going back. Yeah, because it's from Meritah, right? So, this and I think that one, yeah, that one and yeah, this one. I can just do just this 2, okay? Just those 2. Permission granted? Thank you. All right. Pounded fufu and other foods in the mortar with many pistols always make a good rhythm that we children enjoy hearing. Is the rhythm that the 3 pistols make as the take fast turns to hit the mortar. We play, move, or dance to this rhythm all the time. It is like the heartbeat of our compound. Everything in Meritah seems to be done in rhythms, even the making of our foods. The fufu being pounded here by our many mothers is made from cassava. All right, and we get in there. One more. And here it goes. All right. Look at us making use of our little hands to wash our clothes with this magnificent, refreshing river water. I am always happy when my mama or big sisters take me to the river. When my big brother abroad told me that they use tap water to cook and bath with, I think that we are so lucky. He told me that he buys natural waters packaged in stores to drink. I thought that was so funny because the water he buys to drink is what we use to wash our clothes and bath with for free. We drink it and cook with it for free too. But in our villages, even mine, we respect water a lot. And before we use it, we greet the spirits of the waters. We are taught that because water is life, just like all of nature is life, we must make sure that it is always kept clean so we do not pollute our waters in our villages. I wish I can read more of the stories, but I really can't because the book is available to be purchased, right? And you see what he's saying about the water. You know, the bottled water is the spring water they buy, and that's what we use in the natural context.
Every day. All right.
So this book is for all, okay? Both adults and young ones.
Dual Heza. So we just want to say Dual Heza to Dr. Upiomo, also known as the Pia.
Yeah. In Maya Repia.
Yeah. So I do want to thank you today for making this, for the purpose of the pop-up storytelling and market event here at Kepta Toronto. This was a special guest appearance of the author herself to read a beautiful book that is there for us. Any of us who want to have a connection or just say take a journey without taking a plane, just our first view of what we may have missed. And for some of us, what we have forgotten over time. Some of us, when we were very young, maybe we've taken vacation and we were exposed to certain things in the villages of our parents, but we didn't really understand the significance. And a book like this really drives it home as to why it's so important to keep the connection, to keep your identity, take a hold of it, or find out who you are. So once again, thank you so much. And we want to thank, of course, Kepta Toronto, the temple here, making this space available. We want to thank our masters, as always, our Hatiniyu, as well as bigging up the other market attendants that are always here. We have Firefly Productions, which are the books, the calendars, other materials that are here on sale that teach about the Dogon Kemetic culture. We also have Ancasta Natural Healing Products. So, whenever you want to come, if you didn't make it to this event, that's okay. On Saturday from 10 till 2, and on Sunday from 10 till 6, Kepta Market is open. So please
Yes.
make your way to 2409 Eglinton Avenue West, and we will be happy to have you here. Dwell.
Thank you, and thank you for hosting me here. Very much appreciated. We have more
To my
books.
rep over here.
Yeah, these are not the only books. We have more books actually. Very beautiful, captivating.
Yes, and
and-
meritahwisdom.ca.
Yeah, meritahwisdom.ca. Actually, the books are on Amazon. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you type Meritah Wisdom on Amazon, you will see the books. Okay, Meritah, Meritah. Okay, Meritah. You will see the books, all three. We have had more production, but we've not uploaded them to Amazon yet. I really want to speak to Lancaster. When it comes to healing for your body, for your spirit, for your mind, please, especially if you have been trying, if you've been to many countries, the best hospitals for your ailments, whatever it is on a physical, energetic, and spiritual level, I know what I'm talking about. Please go to Ancaster. Amplife.org is you go online, you'll know more about it. There are consultations for your healing, for your health. In every spiritual journey, thank you. So this is the spelling. Anklife, ANKH, life.org, okay? Anklife.org will be, is it .org or .ca?
No, it's
.org.
But of course, we carry them right here at
Yeah, we carry them
2409
right here at
Eglinton
2409.
Avenue.
Yes,
Yeah.
here in Toronto.
So,
I think it's an older level. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so just come.
All right, and there are books here for you. Philosophy Podium is a very popular book, so if you're one of those out there looking for where to get them, you'll find them
Right
here,
here.
2409. So again, thank you for hosting me. It's my pleasure to be here today.
Dwell.
All right, thank you, viewers. Later.